Hiya, I thought I would do my take on a reverse canvas today, and I'm doing a design team project for the card hut using one of Linda Ravenscroft's Gothic Fairy, and it's a stamp collection, and there's 6 stamps in the collection, and they are really enjoyable to colour, and they're a big size, as you can see. This is the 2 that I was sent very kindly by the card hut. So the set of 6 is normally £71.94, but just now the set of 6 is on a special offer of £59.99, so it's working out about £10 a stamp. And as you can see, it's not just the main image you get, you do actually get other stamps with the collection, which I have got here, the one that I'm using. This is Urban Gothic Fairy, and as you can see, you get other bits that you can decoupage up with. You get the Urban Goth little sentiment, or I don't know if sentiment's right, but anyway, it's a really good deal. What I'm also using is the Paper Boutique Everyday Shades of Black and White, because they've got nice ephemera in this pad that I think I might use with the canvas, and the black and white backing paper, because I just think the black and white with the red and the grey is going to look really nice together. So that's what I'm going to be using. I haven't planned this at all, so I've no way where I'm going with this, so it'll just be a ad hoc, if you like, just how I would be crafting in the craft room without the camera being on. So you will just see my thought process, and I hope you find what I'm going to be doing interesting. If you are on Facebook, please follow us on Craft Friends United, where myself and a lot of other design teams share our makes, and if you're a colourist, you're welcome to share your colouring in Craft Friends United as well, but we also now have a separate group for colourists to join, which is Colouring Friends United. So and I'm not going to die cut anything out today, I don't think. I think I'm just going to be very loose with it and just play. So I think it'll just be like a lot of tearing and that sort of playing, because I don't really want to do any die cutting particularly, because I think sometimes it's just fun just to be very loose and just play. So I'm just picking papers that I'm thinking about using, that will match with what I want to do. So because she's goth, I'm keeping the papers quite dark, but I might bring other elements in. I haven't quite decided what. And normally I would either have, oops a daisy, I'm wrecking my book. Normally I would have maybe have painted round this edge, or I would have laid paper down on the edge, but just now, just for this video, I'm just going to work on the inside, and then I'll finish off this part later and show you it finished. Or we'll see, depending on how long it takes me to decide what I'm doing. Because I'm just procrastinating just now to what I'm actually thinking about doing. Right, so I don't need that there just now. I've also brought out a few stencils out of my collection. Create with Imagination, might use that. I might use the dots, I might use this this one, I'm not sure yet. I'm not going to bother putting any textured paste on it, I don't think. I think I'm just going to use my distress inks if I do decide to do anything on the back of the papers, so that I'm just playing with dry stuff really, so I'm not making a mess whilst doing the video. Because this is Sunday and we have a colour along that happens on a Sunday. A few of my friends and I get together in the evening for a colouring session. So I might do that once I'm finished, I don't know yet. So we meet up for a colouring session on Facebook. So it's really quite fun. So I will be doing that at some point today. So I'm not really wanting to get all messy and untidy if I'm going to be doing that. Right, so I quite like this because it says on this paper, smile, lovely, beautiful day, imagine happy times, making memories, blah blah blah. So I might use this. So I'm just gonna cut, normally I would just rip, but I'm just going to cut these flowers off because I don't want these flowers in this. So I'm just going to cut them off so that I can maybe use them in a different project. And then I'm going to stick this into here. So first of all, I'm going to rip this, and I'm going to, you see what I mean? I like the torn edge because I like how it looks on your project. I'm just going to rip it a bit more. And don't chuck these bits away because you might find a use for these bits. See, now I've went too short, but that's okay, don't worry about it. As I say, this is just a play. Now you might want to, at this stage, I'm just going to add a little bit vintage photo distress ink just to make my paper look shabby and not so clean and torn as it was. And then scribble some glue on. I like doing this. You've probably seen on our YouTube channel some of these already, because I've done them for Two Red Robins and I've done them for my samples for Linda Chapman, because I like playing, I like doing this sort of thing. And it's just about building up and telling your story how you want to do it. Oops. What I really should have done is put that down there, and then I've done that, but never mind. So as you can see, I'm just shabbying up, taking away the starkness, a little bit of that white, bring that back in, and right now this is just about putting some layers on here. I haven't actually seen anybody else do these canvases. I've just heard about reverse canvases, so I thought, oh, that sounded like fun, so I thought I would give it a go and see what I think. And it is, it's fun. Just now it looks like a right mess and you're like, where is she going with this? But hopefully hopefully it will be okay and will look okay by the time we get finished. Oops. But art's about that. Art's about just building up layers and having fun with it and not overthinking it. I think sometimes we're that, I mean, I'm quite a clean and simple crafter, so my cards are normally quite clean and simple, especially if I'm doing them for samples, because I like the artwork to do the talking for itself. especially if you're showcasing a product, because I sometimes think that if you've got a great deal of other things on your makes and it's for a company, that it dilutes what you're actually trying to get across to the customers. And our job as design team members is about showcasing the collections that we're using. It's not about how brilliantly you can bring in all this different stuff. Well, and that's just my humble opinion of it. That's just what I like. I like to be just showcasing the actual items that I'm working with. But on this occasion, because it is stamps, I do need to bring in some bits and pieces, because obviously I've just shown you the stamp coloured in, but you want to see the stamp made into things, and it's a good way just to have a play, because hopefully by doing this it shows you a different take on the stamps. I was looking on the Card Hut's website, and they have the stamps, and then underneath they've got some of the design team's work actually showing. And I've only just joined the design team, and I know I think I know a few of the girls, but not all of them. But so far, what I've seen, the team is a very talented team, and I'm really honoured to be part of it. So I do hope that maybe once you've watched this, that you will maybe pop along and have a wee look and just see what it is that they've got to offer, because their prices are really good, and the quality of these stamps that I've had a play with is really, really good quality. And as I say, I was surprised, because Gothic isn't normally a style that I would gravitate towards, but it's been a lot of fun just having a little play with these, because they are a little bit different from what I would normally gravitate to. It's been really good fun playing. And I've seen that they've got lots of animal stamps and things on there as well. So one of my good friends, Helen, she would love them, because she loves her animal stamps. So there's a lot of reasons to pop along and have a look. Now, I don't know, what have I done with my fairy? Oh, there she is. I thought, oh dear, what have I done with her? But I've got her. So as you can see, I'm just building up the layering on here. Nothing too difficult. I like doing projects like this because it shows that anybody can get a stamp. All you need is a stamp, a stamping block, some ink, and you can play, and excuse me, and it's good because you don't need to be having a die cutting machine or anything, because just now I haven't used a single die. Everything that I'm using is just the stamp, obviously, which you haven't seen me stamp it and colour it, because it takes me about an hour to colour a stamp out, so I didn't want to sit here and colour that out as well as doing this project. So I thought I'll just do the colour off camera excuse me, and then I'll come on and do the project for the Card Hut. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And then I will probably do a video where I colour in the stamps, because I've still got a few stamps that I have I would like to colour, so I'm just doing that now. At this stage I'm just going to bring her in to see exactly where I'm going to pop her, and I think I might pop that there. Now I'm just wondering if I will have a look at the stamp set and stamp. Now I never thought about this before I started, so excuse me a minute while I get my arm in the middle of the camera and grab myself an ink pad and the Urban Goth stamp, which I don't know. I don't think it would fit in there. Let's see. And it won't fit in that strip because you would lose. Maybe. I think I'll pop it down here. So I'm just going to stamp. That is not normally the way I do it. I normally bring the stamp pad to my ink pad to my stamp, but just for quickness. And what I'll also do, just because I've got them and I think it might be quite fun, is these little hats are quite cute. So what I think I'll do is I think I'll just use my stamping block, and I'm just because it's a small stamp on a big block, I'm just popping the two stamps at either end just so that it counterbalances the stamp. I apologise if you hear dogs barking in the distance, and if you hear my messenger pinging away. Every day I have a great deal of messenger messages to go through, so it's really nice that friends are contacting me and things. They don't know that I'm doing a live just now, but it's a video just now. So I've got people contacting me just now, which is really nice, and I catch up with everybody. Normally, sorry, I'm looking away from the mic and chatting, so I hope you still heard me. I'm looking, there we go. I'll just use this for quickness. I'm just using a tri-blend, not exactly the same colour as red as the girl is in, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's just a really quick lay down of colour just to add some colour to the hat. In fact, I'll just do it like this for quickness. To be honest, I actually didn't even stamp with an alcohol. I'm lucky because I didn't think about colouring it, and I just used a VersaFine, which is a pigment, and I'm quite lucky that the pigment isn't moving, because normally when I'm using alcohol markers, I'm just doing it really flat just now. Normally when I'm using alcohol markers, I would have went towards a Memento ink pad and not this one. So as I say, I'm quite lucky it's not moving. So that was more luck than judgment, to be perfectly honest. I knew that would happen. I do apologise, I am being called. I will quickly tell the person that I'm doing a video. Sorry about this, I'm doing a video, guys, so I will quickly tell the person I'm doing a video and apologise for the noise in the background. And I will go back to my project. It was bound to happen. So I'll just continue with this. Open that there, I think. And continue. I apologise for that interruption. Should I have stopped for an edit or anything there, Kev? Or will I just carry on? I should really probably have said, I didn't say that I was going to do a video, I just decided to come on. So it was bound to happen. I found it really funny. That normally if I'm doing videos, I tend to do them later at night, so that I know that it's very unlikely that I then get phone calls. But it's the windows are open and it's a busy street today because the sun's shining, so you're probably hearing all sorts. We just had a gentleman go past the window there and have a little whistle to himself, so so you're probably getting life. Pardon?
Crafting live.
Yeah, you're definitely getting crafting live, that's for sure today. So, but sometimes that's nice as well, because sometimes I think when we do these, not that mine are particularly polished, because I'm very naughty about not preparing what I'm going to do before I start doing it. So a lot of, I mean, I would be a nightmare for TV, I think, because I think I would just be going on and just playing. I don't know. I mean, I know that the girls all prep their demos and things, but I don't know. Sometimes it's nice just to see a project from start to finish, more or less, and to see the mistakes and the process. Because I mean, I make mistakes a lot in the work that I'm doing, and my work will go on different. It'll take on different. Goodness me, I'm fighting with these pads, and it'll take on a different role from what I was thinking it would as well. A different, not role, wrong word, but you know what I mean. So I just thought I was supposed to be bringing Dusty Concord into this, because obviously in the fairy, I've got the fairy with some purple, so just to tie it in, I thought I should take in a bit of Dusty Concord just through a stencil, just to put a little bit of Dusty Concord in the background, so that it kind of ties in my colour scheme. I didn't have, because as I was saying, Gothic is not really my style, I didn't have Gothic-y stuff, so to try and get this to work, it was like, what can I do? So if in doubt, black and white works really well, and then with, obviously you can bring in reds and purples. I quite like purple and red together. I think they're complementary on the wheel, the colour wheel, if I'm right. I think they are. So, well, you know, it would have been a lot less problem to do this if I'd thought about doing it before I stuck it in my project. So yeah, this is how not to do it. So anyway, and I could use a pokey tool to get these pads off. Now I see what the girls are talking about on live television when they're trying to get their sticky bits off and they can't get them off. I think because it's been so warm in Scotland just now, that my sticky tape is just not behaving. I noticed that my washi tape and my low-tack tape, when I was putting it through the machine, was really being a pain to come off of things. Yeah, in the true fashion, this is really one that I maybe should have done earlier, because it's making it look a lot more difficult than it is. But we got there in the end. I thought, oh, see, that's what I mean. I didn't really need to, unless I put her over a little bit. I didn't really need to do, unless I bring her over here. Nope. I think I like her there. I might bring her up a bit. Now I've lost all my stenciling. See what I mean about not really thinking things over? Because I've just put all that, brought in all that dusty concord, and then I'm pretty much covering it all. So I'll just bring it down a little bit. Oh, that's a bit dark. Oh dear. Maybe I should have tapped that off somewhat. Never mind. And we'll bring a wee bit up here. It's just to see if I can bring in this. That'll do. I think that should be okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine, and it actually hides that big huge splodge, so that's okay. Right, now my urban goth. Actually, I'd rather have the torn edge showing. Do you know what, I've got these tearing rulers and everything, and I don't use them near as much as I should. Just going to bring in scissors and just make that like a little bad fishtail. Maybe do that. I don't think I like that black edge around it. Let's just do a little bit more tearing. See what I mean? I'm just tearing, and then we'll use some of the old vintage photo and just bring in the vintage photo around the edge. I'll just check with my director, am I still in shot okay? That's fine. Because I just waffle on and get all, now do I want you there? Do I want you there? I think I'll put you there. My desk starts off really nice and tidy, and then by the time that I do all this, it's like, what a mess. It really is funny. Now, so there we go. I don't know. I don't really know if it needs a great deal more on there. I quite like the fact that it's quite it's quite nice. What I might do is, I've got one of these paper things that you pull through and it ripples your paper, so it corrugates your paper like that. So what I will do is, I will probably do some just for texture, I'll probably do some like paper rolls and things and get them added to my project. So, you know, so you can add some, just to give it some, as I say, just to give it some depth and interest. What I might do is, might bring some dusty concord around the edge of that, and then just do some rolls. And I'm losing the interest because that's not touring as much, so just tear it a little bit more. As I said, there's no right or wrong, all you're doing is sitting playing. And obviously the star of your what you're doing is your stamp. So what you can do as well, which I haven't done with this one, but what you could do is you could actually decoupage your stamp up, so you could have cut the girl out away from the wings and things and decoupaged her up. I might do that next time I play with this stamp, but for now I'm quite liking the way this is coming together. And keep all your little bits and bobs that you've cut off of your pads, because these little bits can all be used in your next project, so you don't really need to waste anything. Even small bits like that are good for your next project. And as I said earlier, because I thought these were pretty, I cut these out so that I could keep them for another project, for like if you do junk journaling or memory books and things. That pad from Paper Boutique is really good for memory books because it's got all these little tag elements and things, which I don't think I'll use because I'm pretty much just using what's here just now. And I tidied all that up into my hand, and then my bucket's not there, so I was like, oh dear. So never mind, I'll sort it later. So I'm just going to glue that there and glue that baby one there, and I mean, you can bring in things like your texture pastes and your transparent gesso and things. Sometimes I'll use Flower Soft and transparent gesso, and it'll give stuff, it gives it a nice depth. I haven't done that today because I've stuck with pretty clean and simple, just to show you what I'm doing with the, do you know what, I have, haven't I? Have I just used, oh, it doesn't matter, I've just used the wrong brush, but it's okay, we'll go with it. I used the vintage photo brush instead of the, and if you're not wanting the full colour, tap some off at the side so you don't get it as sharp, as vibrant as I'd had it the last time. So I just popped some off. So now I'm just making that flag. Quite like that. That looks nice. Just to match in. So basically, I'm quite happy with this. It's very simple and clean, and I am going to do around here, and then come back and I'll show you the finished. I don't know whether just to do it on camera or to let you go and come back and do it. I haven't decided whether I'm going to paint, if I'm going to paint it black or if I'm going to put paper on it or not. So I might just do that off camera and then I can show you it at the end. I could just do that actually. I quite like just that. Maybe just do that on the end of it. Actually looks quite nice. Yeah, so maybe just go with that. Let's see. I'm just always conscious about how long my videos are because I don't want people to be bored of what I'm doing. I did a live in the colouring group yesterday. Colouring Friends United, and everybody were really lovely because they were saying that they were enjoying watching, even though I felt like I was waffling on for ages, but they were enjoying it, so it was quite nice. It was quite nice doing it, and I enjoy doing lives with you guys. Now I love butterflies, and this butterfly paper's like screaming out for me to cut some butterflies out, but I'm not. I mean, what is goth? Can you use goth flower? Can you do that? Can't see why you couldn't. Have flowers up here? Maybe. Yeah, maybe we will. Maybe we'll just do flowers and stripes along here, like so. This is a very clean mixed media project, as I said earlier. I haven't done the gesso and the mixed media paste or the mixed media sprays, which is all stuff that I would and have done with my reverse canvases in the past. So now I don't know if I want to miter the edges or if I quite like the fact that they're a bit more rustic and I could just use a nail file and file them down. I think I might do that. I think I might go the two sides down first, and I don't even think I'm going to cut. I think I'm just going to glue it down as is. So glue down that one. I mean, sometimes I will actually do it so that the whole side panel's covered, but really I don't think you really need to. I think as long as you bring in some design and just cover up the staples, I think actually it looks quite nice sometimes, just showing that it is actually a canvas, because sometimes when I've done them in the past I've cut the paper round so it hides the wood, or I've painted the wood. I'm quite liking the fact that it is like that, and I'll do it like that, I think, as well. And that way, there. Quite like that, flowers, quite pretty. And I'm just snipping it off at the edge, like so. And then I should have had another one of those. What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Can't see it for looking. I had this paper out as well because I was going to use this paper, but I haven't actually needed that paper, so that's fine. And I'm just going to pop that along like so. And we're nearly finished actually, so I don't know how long we've been, but it's a nice little project, and I don't think it took that long to do. The pads were nice to use as well. I don't actually know if I should have checked before I came on, but because this is a craft hut design team project and not a paper boutique project, I didn't actually check to see if the papers that I'm using were in stock on Creative Crafting World, so I couldn't really tell you if they're still in stock. But if you go onto Creative Crafting World, you'll be able to check them out. The stamps, it's the crafthut.co.uk. No, I'm saying that wrong again. It's the cardhut.co.uk. I don't know why I keep calling it that, the Craft Hut. I apologise. It's the Card Hut. And it's a lovely. I mean, the people that I've met, I've not been with the design team long, but everybody that I've met is lovely. The team's lovely, the owners, everybody is lovely. So I do hope that you will pop along and have a look at the stamps they've got. As I say, they don't just have Gothic stamps, they've got animals, they've got other fairies by Linda, they've got a great deal of stamps, and their prices are really good. They've actually got a starter kit on there of stamps, and there's quite a lot of stamps in it, and I think it was something like £30 for the full set. It wasn't expensive at all. I was very impressed with the prices when I went to have a look, so do pop along and have a look. I'm very good at spending other people's pennies, have you noticed? I'm quite often telling you guys about things to get you buying. I'm a bit of an influencer. And just because I'd brought in the flowers there, I was thinking, should I have brought in? But no, I think I was going to, I mean, what we could do something like pop it up here, because it matches in, or pop it even, no, yeah, down a bit might work. So, I mean, you could build up the outside as much as you want, because you've got the kits, and then, as I say, you can decoupage your fairy out, and you could even have more than one fairy. I mean, I have got this fairy, this Gothic Fairy, the same Gothic Fairy actually, and I've got her in, oh, I am so silly. Do you know what I've done, ladies and gentlemen? I've brought in the purple, because I was supposed to be putting the purple fairy here, and what have I done? Schoolgirl error. I've put the, oh, do you know what? I've put the red fairy there. How silly was that? So yeah, it was supposed to be the purple fairy on the purple, not the red. Really, that was a silly thing to do. Let's see if I can get her up without tearing her. Honestly, no, she's just gonna tear. She does match, because they've got some red on the bottom. But what I'm going to do, because I'm really annoyed at myself for doing what I've just done, so what I'm going to do is I am going to sort this situation out, and I am going to just cut this one. How silly of me. I'm going to cut this one a little bit. So, do I want to do it that way? I mean, she does look alright, because there's red here now, but the whole point of me bringing in the Dusty Concord was because I was putting the Dusty Concord fairy onto my project. I was putting the purple fairy onto my project, and I didn't think about that. So you see what I mean about silly mistakes? At least I noticed before you guys all went away and was like thinking, why on earth did she put purple on there when her fairy's red? Just a schoolgirl error, not thinking, and took the wrong one. And I could maybe have took her off, but oh, she's just going to rip. So what I think I'll do is I'll just maybe pop her on top, but leave some of the red showing, because I leave the red of her. Actually, you know, I might regret this, but let's see. As I was saying, you can decoupage them up, so actually it is a mistake. I'm not going to say, oh, this was meant, because it wasn't meant at all. It is a mistake. But what I might do is, that was a bit savage cutting her head off, but what I might do is now I might bring her in and pop her so that I can decoupage her up. Yeah, I like that. Good, that's what we'll do. But we'll decoupage her as well, I think. So let's just put, I think this should look alright. Let me see. It just means her head's sitting that bit. Yeah, I think it gives interest actually. So I'll do this. Oh, I'm annoyed at myself for not paying attention, but never mind. These things happen. So we're getting 2 fairies on here, just to make that better. I'm glad I noticed it before I went away, because I would have been like, why did I do that? And then I would have felt bad because I'd made a mistake on my video, and I probably would have started it all over again. And really, it's good to show that mistakes happen, but we're creative, so if we make mistakes we can always sort them, because at the end of the day we're only working with paper, a bit card, some markers, and away we go. So we're quite lucky that we can do that. Just want to make sure before I stick that 100% that she's in the right place arm wise. She is. Yep. And dress wise and leg wise. Let's see. She needs to come over a little bit that way. Her arm's right. Yeah. So, yeah, flat down it looked a bit bizarre, but it's okay when you pick it up to have a look at it. Yeah, she's okay. And our and because red and purple, as I was saying, are on the wheel together, it's not so bad having red and purple on the same picture. I mean, I didn't need to take the wings off. I could actually have left the wings the purple instead of the grey. But I don't know, actually. I don't know what I prefer. I don't know if I like the wings purple or the wings grey. I liked the wings grey when it was red and grey, and with it being purple and grey, I'm not sure. But I think just to give it that 3D look, I'm just going to leave it like so. And I've just noticed that I haven't coloured the buckles in her boots. I'm just trying to get this leg to sit properly. This leg isn't wanting to sit properly. There we go. So, there we go. That's quite good. That'll do. And I'll actually just do the buckle red. That'll tie in a bit more red. So, not where I was expecting to go. I wasn't thinking properly, and just pulled out the wrong one. But thankfully, because I'm using black and white coloured, it all actually worked. I feel like her leg's not sitting correctly here. I'm not sure why, but I feel like it's not wanting to. I think it's needing another bit pad. I think that would help. And again, you don't need to put the wings and things that you had cut away. You could actually cut them out properly, and you could 3D them up so that they look as if they are. I've got a bit of a crease there that I'm not 100% happy about, but I don't know. I'm going to have a wee play with this just now. As I said, this was my thinking process from start to finish, really. So it was about showing what could be done. So is that one? Yeah. So I'm quite happy that I made the mistake, even though it was annoying that I made the mistake. I'm quite happy I made the mistake, because now I get to have a wee play and then show you my thinking process. So I could bring that up like that. I think I will actually bring that up like that. Although I do like the fact that, do you know what? No, I won't. I think I like the fact that it's grey boots, grey wings, and her head. Yeah, I'm going to leave her like that actually. And we could be quite macabre, I suppose, and we could put. Do you know what? Why not? Let's do it. It is a bit macabre, I suppose, cutting. Is that? Yeah, I would say macabre, cutting her head off, but at the end of the day, it's only paper. I've not really committed any crime against Gothic fairies, so we're going to put either her head there or her head there. I think I like her head there. Yeah, I'm going to put her head on it. Why not? I like it. I think it's funny. There we go. There's her head. I was thinking about bringing a butterfly in, but actually I quite like the head there. We could also bring wings in separately, I suppose. Could have a wing up here. See, this is just me, just totally just playing now. It's not, none of this was thought out, and you're probably thinking, what on earth are you doing, woman? But that's what it's all about. It's about creating your own little story with your artwork, because the artist has done what the artist has done, and now it's up to you to bring it to life by adding your colours, your glitters, your sequins, your gems, whatever you want to bring in, and just go with it and tell your story however you want to tell your story. Because there is no, as I said, there's no right or wrong. I mean, I was keeping it simple and I quite liked the way it was looking, but because I made the mistake I made where I put the wrong lady on the picture, and I had brought in the Dusty Concord to bring in the lilac, I thought, oh no, what do I do? Because I don't want to have lilac in and not have a reason for the lilac being there. So that was why I've decided to mess about with the bits and pieces that I'm messing about with now, because I made the mistake. And it's great because there's no right or wrong to it. It's like, if you like what you're doing, then that's what matters. So I'm not 100% sure I'm going to use this wing, but I'm messing about to see if I want to. I don't want to put it there because it looks like it's awful meant from there. So I'm messing about to see if I'm going to bring it in before I totally get rid of it. Yeah, I could bring it in there. That looks quite interesting in there. And I've put it on a foam pad just to give it a little bit. Yeah, I think it looks quite interesting in there. No, maybe not. Yeah, it does. I would have preferred to have put it the other way. I wasn't really thinking about that. But again, it doesn't matter. It's brought in some more. It's brought in a bit of interest, and that's all that matters. And you just go with it, basically. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glitter along the edge of here, just because I fancy a little bit, and a little bit here, and I'm just using a Do Craft glitter glue. I'm going to put a little bit on the rose and a little bit on the feather, oops, and I think that will be that. So totally went in a different direction from where I was expecting to go with this, but nevertheless I think I'm quite happy with how it's coming together, and I will just be adding some more finishing touches, and then just add in bits and pieces here out of this pad. It does mean that I am going to have to colour the Gothic Fairy again, because I was hoping to do another project with the one I coloured, but that's okay. As I say, the stamps are gorgeous, and I did say at the start that not my comfort zone, but I actually really enjoyed having the play with them that I've been having, because sometimes it's nice just to be out with your comfort zone, and I've certainly enjoyed playing with them. They are beautiful stamps to stamp with, so I will be, and I'm just adding some butterflies because it's not a project that I've done if I don't add something cutesy somewhere. Although, as I said, I think this fairy's very cute. Her little head just sitting there. Oh, poor girl. What does this look like, Kevin? Am I just totally making a pig's ear of this demo?
It's abstract.
Oh, did you see the mistake I made?
Yep.
Why didn't you say?
It just happened.
You didn't notice until I said.
Art happened.
Art does just happen, that's right. And it's not, I mean, I could turn this off and start again and not make that mistake, but you know what? I'm not. I'm going to just go with it and let you see the mistakes that happen, because I think it's fun. I think it's a good idea to show that in crafting, if you do that, a lot of the times, and I used to be bad for this myself, and I will put my hands up, and I still get stressed out when doing samples for companies, because even though I've been on a few teams over the years, because I still get stressed out about it, because I'm like, oh dear, what if I do something and they don't like it, and what if my work's not good enough and I let them down, and it can feel sometimes a bit stressful like that. But over the years, because I've been in a few teams, and I realise that sometimes what you make isn't maybe the right thing, and maybe poor butterfly's getting its antlers cut off. Antlers? Antennas cut off. A dear butterfly. goodness, I'm waffling. Anyway, back to what I was trying to say. Sometimes you make things and it's like, oh dear, I don't know if the company will like it, and perhaps the company won't like it, and perhaps the company decides that they won't use it because it's not what they wanted you to do. It's really funny when stuff like that happens, because yeah, I just put glitter glue on the edge of that. And what have I just done? You guessed it, just put my finger in it. Oh my goodness me. Never mind. Right, I think I'm going to finish this video before I totally mess this up and and give the impression that I have no idea. Mind you, give the impression that I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, to be fair, I don't really have any idea what I'm doing. I've just been crafting for 25 years plus probably, and I just go with it. I just wing it. So that's what I'm doing just now. Just winging it. Literally. So anyway, I think I'm quite happy with that, and I'm just going to leave it at that and tidy up my desk, and I'll take some pictures of it once I've got everything tidied up. Thanks for sticking by me if you stuck by me and watched this live. I really do appreciate everybody that does watch, and I appreciate all your comments, and I really would like you to pop along to the card hut and have a look at the urban fairies, the urban Gothic fairies, which is this one and some of the other fairies that are in the set, because I think you will find them really endearing and you will want to play with them. This is how this will look when it's standing, so it's actually turned out quite pretty, and I've not made any mess anywhere because I haven't bothered with, apart from the glitter, I haven't bothered with any paste or anything, so I'm quite happy with my clean mixed media project. So yeah, I hope you guys have had fun watching, and please do subscribe to the Noble Crafter Facebook channel. Please do join us at Craft Friends United and Colouring Friends United. Please do check out the card hut on the website, the card hut. So you will find it at store.thecardhut.co.uk, and you will be able to see all the stamps that they've got, and you will be able to also check out the design team's work, which I've said is amazing. I love what the girls have been doing so far. What I've seen, everybody is so talented. Their work is amazing, so do check them out. And all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching. I hope you've had a giggle with me along the way, and I hope you found this an interesting project. Speak to you all soon. Bye!